Springdale, New York. However, he will not be in the starting lineup today.
Presenting our entrance numbers today is Cub Scout shirt number 381, based out of Hicksville. Please remain standing as Myra Massler sings our national anthem.
Another beautiful rendition of our national anthem as we're almost set to get underway here between Molloy and Assumption. First, the starting lineup for the visiting Greyhounds. At guard, it's Julian Aiken, 6'1", 190-pound senior, averaging close to 9 points per game. Kamali Bay, a sophomore guard, 6'4", averaging 14 points per contest. That's second on the team in scoring. Jack Sullivan, a 6-foot guard, wearing number 11, averaging 6.5 points per game. Trey Owens is the forward at 6'6", 210 senior, 7 points, 2 rebounds per contest. And their big scorer this season has been Declan Suka, the Melbourne, Australia Bryant transfer, actually, from Division 1, 6'3", 180-pound junior, averaging 16 points per contest. For Molloy, the 0-4 squad goes with Brandon Williams at the 1 as expected. 5 points per game, 4.5 assists per game, and close to 5 rebounds per contest. The senior will also have Jalen Morris out there, the junior, 6'5", 185 guard. Charlie Marquardt, a combo slashing guard, 6'3", junior. Kevin Bowles is at forward at 6'4", 215 senior. And the guy who comes in for the first start of the season, first start of his career, is Chris O'Reilly, the New Jersey native, 6', 170-pound freshman. He's played in 4 games, averages about 6.5 minutes per contest, and a little bit under 2 points per contest. Charles Marquardt's the head coach, his 22nd season, first year 1994-95, only the second coach in this program's history. For Assumption, Michael Harding is a first-year head coach here, was the associate head coach at UMass Lowell, a former captain basketball player back in his heyday, but he also was a head coach for St. Michael's for 3 years, and the associate head coach over UMass Lowell helped them transition from Division 2 to Division 1. Molloy wearing their white uniforms, the home whites with the maroon numbering and maroon trim. Assumption wearing their road all blues, white numbering, and the black stripes. They'll be going from left to right on your computer screens. Molloy will be going from right to left in the first half of action. 20 minutes on the clock. And before we get started, Tom, what are your keys to this game?
Well, honestly, short, and the way these teams match up is very similar. They both like to play almost like a 4-guard set with one forward, really like a tweener 4-5 kind of a guy. So I think the teams are built the same way. Both teams have been out-rebounded pretty badly on the season, so it's going to be interesting to see if either team can really get control of the glass. That would be a big help. Also, both teams very smart with the ball, only each averaging about 12 turnovers per game. So again, if either one of these teams can turn up some pressure on defense and force some turnovers, that would also go a long way in helping win this game.
Down to center court, Jalen Morris wins the tip-off, and we are underway here. We thank you so much for joining us on the Molloy Lions Sports Network. Morris over to Marquardt, averaging 14.5 points per game, pulls back for a three-pointer front iron. Again, that's been a struggle for him this season, just 11 for 42, 26% from deep. Quick transition, and a three ball from Trey Owens misses. So back and forth we go. In less than 30 seconds, already 2 shots.
And Assumption really likes to play a high-energy, high-contest type of games. They're scoring 79 points a game, opponents scoring 81, so expect a lot of points in this one.
Brandon Williams, pullback jumper from 14 feet on the far side. That's short. So 0 for 2, Molloy starts. We're 45 seconds in. Here's Aiken, after 9 points per contest. The Suka, little spin move, dumps it off for Bay underneath, and he will be fouled. Go against Kevin Bowles will be his first, and the team's first.
And you can see Sukup very quick, looks pretty comfortable going left or right, and a nice pivot there, able to find Bay down low, hacked on the way up.
Kamali Bay, 20 of 31 from the stripe this season. Has been in double figures 3 times this year, twice he's scored 20 points, and the first point on the board goes to Assumption.
Bay listed as a 6'4" guard, but built like a fire hydrant over there. Tremendous size. Looks like a very strong player. Might be tough to deal with.
Second one misses, rebounded by Brandon Williams, and he starts up the offense. Brings it across the midcourt stripe to Marquardt on the far wing. Straight away, it's O'Reilly again making his first start of the season. The freshman dribbles left, hands off Morris, skip pass, far side on the far wing. Stopping at the stripe is Williams, and hands off to Bowles. Thinks about a jumper. Three-pointer on the way from Williams. Rattles out. Just missing. And he has a big smile on his face, frustrated. If you know anything about Brandon Williams, is he's a guy who likes to smile a lot. Does not get too mad too often. Always a big smile on his face. As it's Bay who puts a quick 2 on the board, a 3-0 lead for Assumption.
And Bay looks like a tough matchup early on. He's going up against Kevin Bowles, but definitely has a bit of a girth advantage there, and he's got the first 3 points. 230
pounds is what he's listed as. Far corner, Marquardt. Fakes it, stops at the stripe. Here's O'Reilly, nothing but net. First 3 points on the board, the second 3 ball he's hit all season, 3-3.
And Molloy really hasn't gotten any penetration so far against this Assumption defense, been settling for long-range shots.
Sullivan, bounce pass, Bay blocked away by Marquardt, but taken back and garnered to the near corner. They work the ball around. Williams tries to go for a steal. Here's Sukup, and he hits a tray of his own. Quick tempo already, and a 3-point lead for Assumption. Williams, Marquardt, 3-pointer on the way from the near corner, and he's 1 for 2 on the day. So both points, or both baskets, I should say, for Molloy coming from beyond the arc.
And a great screen off the ball, which allowed Marquardt to get a step in that corner and hit the shot.
And then the air ball by Trey Owens on a 3-ball of his own. So both teams not really using most of this shot clock. Again, 30-second shot clock now. If you're just knowing and just joining us, really, for college basketball this season, they went down to a 30. They tried it out in the CBI and those tournaments for the last couple of years, and they've liked it. So the 30-second shot clock is new. Morris, good, and the foul. So the team's leading scorer will head to the stripe to make it a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Molloy has their first lead. It's 8-6.
And again, we talk about Morris. Most of what he does is unconventional. He doesn't usually have those, set up shots and do things like that. He works with his back to the basket. He's going away from the hoop, changes his body in the air, and very good at adjusting to contact in midair as well.
Last touch off of Marquardt, out of bounds. Free throws have not been the strength of Jalen Morris in his career. This season, he's just 8 for 19 after missing that last free throw attempt. Almost looks mental at this point. Quick little move in. They're going to say the foul is on the floor as Aiken was going towards the paint. going to go against number 13. That's Chris O'Reilly, will be his first, team second.
And that's where you miss Curtis Jenkins a little bit. Much more of a staunch defender, played some D-back as well as running back in football at Farmingdale High School, so a very good cover guy and a slasher.
So Jenkins definitely has that length. Good combo guard. I'm sure we're going to see him at some point today, but as of right now, O'Reilly has 3 of the 8 points and gets his first start. Inbounds to the right of the basket. Sukup looking for a defender, looking for a man, and 3 ball on the way from Jack Sullivan in the far corner. And the lead is back for Assumption, 9-8.
Not good for Molloy. Really fell asleep on that inbounds pass. No one covering Sullivan. Knocks down the open tray.
Morris top of the key. As this team goes really a 2-3. And they kind of push back for the zone, but a shot hit by Bowles. And the lead is back from Molloy. Back and forth we go here.
That's a good sign early from Bowles. He struggled with his shot last season, but looks clean this year.
Stripped by Morris. Marquardt, 3-ball. Good. Charlie Marquardt, 2 3-pointers in the game and a 13-9 lead.
And already you could see this is looking like a high event type of game. Already 13-9, 4 minutes in. These teams are on pace to do quite a bit of damage on the scoreboard.
Aiken, spin move in the paint. Kicks out, far corner. Sullivan for Trey. Too long. But Bay gets the rebound and puts it home. So 13-11, Molloy still ahead. A little more than 5 minutes into this, a little under 5 minutes into this contest.
And Bay now with 5 in the game.
Straight away, Williams for 3. And he comes up short, rebounded by Sullivan. Sukup. The Bryant University transfer, not too far from where Assumption is. 3-pointer from Aiken, that misses. Rebounded by Marquardt, his first of the contest. In transition, quick move, Bowles, good and 1 from the right block. So Kevin Bowles will head to the stripe. And Molloy has a 15-11 advantage. And Tom, just like we saw last game for this team, when they're running in transition and they get the legs moving, that is when they are at their best.
And that's a big key for this Molloy team, and it has been for the last couple of years. They've been known for their staunch zone defense. It has forced a lot of misses, and Molloy always likes to run off those misses. So if your Assumption, how do you stop them from running? You got to make more of your shots. The more misses that they put up, they settle for these long-range threes and off the rim. That's what's going to allow Molloy to get out and run the break.
Bowles hits the first free throw of the game for Molloy. Again, the last game they were 7 of 13, but Caldwell had 32 attempts at the free throw line. That's what kept them in it, scoring 25 points from the charity stripe. 3-pointer from Aiken, too far. And it actually hit the wire on top of that basket, which we've seen so much here at Quealy Gymnasium. Again, we always say this about Quealy Gymnasium. It may not be the flashiest plays, but it's definitely a home court advantage because this plays can really get loud with the low ceilings and really tight quarters.
Yeah, it feels kind of like a high school gym. The crowd right on top of you. The Lions then always filling up, especially against those conference rivals where it really becomes like standing room only capacity in here, and it gets loud when this team runs the break.
Morris with a quick runner. Doesn't work. Rebounded. 3-pointer from the right wing. Marquardt dials up a long-distance call and connects it. Timeout's going to be called by Assumption. 19-11 lead. 9 points just from the 3-ball alone from Charlie Marquardt.
And Marquardt is really finding the stroke early on in this game. And so often for him, if he hits that first shot, he's going to go on and hit a bunch more in that first half. And that's what he's done tonight. Already 9 points. He's got 3 3-pointers in this game. And Molloy was down 6-3 early in this game. Well, since then, they've gone on a 16-5 run here, a lead at 19-11.
Charlie Marquardt, I kind of wonder if he felt challenged because it seems every time people keep looking at him, expecting him to hit that 3-ball, something he does so well. 5th all-time entering this season in 3-point field goals made. He can get probably up to even 2nd by the end of the year for just a junior and probably expected maybe even to hold that record. But he has not been able to really hit 3-pointers this season, which is kind of rare considering he came in even from his freshman year as a sharpshooter.
And it's good to see that even though he's only shooting 26% from 3, he's still averaging close to 15 points per game, which you hope means that he's finding other ways to get it done. 9 of 10 at the free throw line. That's going to be a big help for Marquardt, who he's been solid there, 79% last year, but you'd like to see that number get even higher for a guy who has such a clean stroke. You think he can do even better from the free throw line.
So they fix the clock. 4 seconds off the shot clock. 5 minutes and 30 seconds into this contest. To the right wing, Sullivan kicks out to Riley Reed, who just checked into the contest a few moments ago. Williams all over Sukup. Far corner, Sullivan. He's already attempted some three balls there. This time he's going to go straight to the hole and lay it in with the right hand. They trail by 6 now. And
so far, Sullivan has been giving Charlie Marquardt some problems there on the offensive side.
Three-pointer from O'Reilly. Short rim. And they're going to keep it there. I believe it was an over-the-back foul.
Yeah, that might have just been a nudge, I think, when one of the Molloy players, I think it was Bowles, was going up for the rebound. Just kind of got nudged in the back and leveraged out of position there, so I think that was the right call.
It'll be Sullivan's first, team's third. Marquardt tries to hit another three-pointer. He's getting 3 happy, but they've been sinking so far this afternoon. Quick transition move, and Reed puts his first 2 points on the board. Assumption trails by 4 to Molloy. Williams, the team leader in assists, pretty much all season, as expected. Straightaway Bowles goes back to Williams. Penetrates inside, has to stop his dribble. Kicks out. O'Reilly, 3-ball. Yes! Chris O'Reilly, his second three-pointer of the game. And it's a 22-15 lead.
And for a guy who came in averaging less than 2 per game, he's already got 6 points in the early going.
Rebounded by Williams on the miss. In transition, now Morris, the team's leading scorer. Goes baseline, knocked out. And we'll have 2 subs coming on each side. First for Assumption, it's Kamali Bey, who will check back in, and Matt Solda will enter the contest for the first time. For Molloy, Mo Gatson makes his first appearance off the bench, and Curtis Jenkins, who again started the first 4 games of the season, enters in. Now Chucks Abunse, the forward, will check in for Bowles.
Already an impressive 5 3-pointers made for Molloy, so 15 of their 22 points. And if you count Bowles with his extended 3-point play, that's 18 of their 22 points have come that way.
Close to 7 minutes into this contest, Molloy has a 22-15 lead over Assumption, a team that was picked 6th in the Northeast Division of the NE10. Molloy gets up 24-15.
And there you see a classic example of Morris with a good matchup against a smaller guard, and he just took him to the rim with that strong power move.
Pick set, Bay turns the basketball over, straight into the hands of Brandon Williams. In transition, Jenkins, pullback jumper from about 10 feet away, rebounded by Abunse as he was fighting with his own teammate. Here's Sukup.
And I can't wait to watch this matchup with Abunse and Bay. I think a much better matchup now, probably the best matchup for any Molloy defender to try to take on Bay.
Again, Abunse, usually the 5 on this team. Good defense there as he forced Bay for a tough shot, the hand in his face. And Abunse is a big, strong player. Not very tall, has some trouble sometimes in the transition game. As a no-look pass goes straight into the hands of the Molloy cheerleaders. And it's a 25-15 lead for for Molloy. Substitution for Assumption as it's Justin Tuxon, the 6'1", 185 freshman who's averaging 6 points per contest.
And again, we talked about it before with Bay, that girth advantage really over a lot of these Molloy players. But if anybody's going to match him toe-to-toe, it's Chucks Abunse, and a very good first defensive stand by Chucks, forcing the miss on an off-balance shot from Bay.
Mo Gatson now running the offense. Wing to Williams as he directs the play. Sends it top of the key. 17-footer from Abunse, short rim.
And that's not really his game. I don't think Charlie Marquardt and the coaching staff will be too happy about that shot selection so early in the shot clock.
Far corner. Tuxon moves in. Pass it over to Sukup. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Penetrates towards the hole. And Jalen Moore is pleading his case, saying he got ball first, but is going to be charged with his first personal foul of the game, 3rd one for the team.
And that's a tough matchup right there. Good speed coming in from the side for Assumption, and Morris went up. He thought it was clean, but referee felt otherwise. Solda now with a chance to go to the line here, and for Solda on the season, a perfect 4 for 4 from the stripe.
Averaging 7 points per contest. His dream job, actually, to be an NBA trainer. So if you're not going to play basketball, you might as well find another way to get into the league. And that's hopefully one of his dreams, as Bay will take a seat And entering back in will be Trey Owens, the UC Riverside transfer.
I heard that's what they say about broadcasters too, Dan.
Well said. Here's Williams. The 24-17 lead. Under 9 minutes into this contest. Gatson moves towards the paint. Jump pass straight away. Now Jenkins. Another jump pass. Something they did too much last game against Caldwell, and it definitely hurt them as they turned the basketball over a few times because of it. Williams straight to the hole. And too strong off the glass, couldn't get the kiss.
It looks like Assumption has switched back to a man-to-man. Early on, that zone wasn't working too well.
Reed with a 3 ball, and they trail by 4. 5 points for Riley Reed. Williams bounces over to Curtis Jenkins. They find Abunse at the left block, and he gets his first 2 points of the contest.
That's good work from Chucks. You know, get inside, maybe one dribble, one move, you got to go right up.
Now Owens looking for a 3 ball of his own. A lot of threes attempted in this contest. Jenkins tries to work his way in, but it goes off his knee and out of bounds. He looks frustrated as Charlie Marquardt will come back onto the floor for Jalen Morris.
Owens not afraid to shoot those threes. 6'6" forward, one of the only big men on this team, but shooting 29% this year. He shot 30% from downtown last year.
Sukup with a 3 ball, and it's 26-23. Molloy's advantage is cut down to just 3 points.
He's had a couple of threes in this game, but other than that, it's been a relatively unremarkable start for Sukup, a guy who's averaging just about 16 a game.
It's amazing, Tommy. He's not a very big guy.
No.
Skinny, but a good shooter. And strong as Marquardt puts up 2 points there. He's in double figures already. Owens between the circles. Here's Tuxin. Leads it ahead. They try and dump it off. Reed attempted for Matt Solda, but it goes off his palms and out of bounds.
And I think Jenkins may have just gotten a touch on that to alter the flight of the ball, which kind of fooled Solda and knocked it out of bounds. So I think some good defense by Molloy on the interior didn't let that pass get through cleanly. Jalen
Morris will come back onto the floor. Mo Gatson now running the offense. I guess you could say this is them going big. Mo straight towards the lane. Can't get the fall, but he's going to be fouled. I think they're going to stay on the floor.
Yeah, I was going to say that would have been some kind of continuation play if they would have called that a shooting foul. I didn't think it was. It looked like Mo got bumped, then took another hop and jump, and then took the shot. So I think that would be the right call overall, but Coach Marquardt unhappy because one of the other refs seemed to intimate that it was a shooting foul.
So 30 seconds on the shot clock. Came down to the left of the basket. Abunse dribbles over. Now Marquardt thinks about a 3-pointer. But Sullivan with good defense there. Now Chucks Abunse at the left block. Quick little move. 4 points for Chucks.
Yeah, Abunse's got 4 of the last 6 points now for Molloy. I really think he can carve himself a niche on this team, especially given that they graduated a couple of bigs last year, guys like Prendergast and Zoller.
A backdoor cut attempted for Casper, who just checked in. Doesn't work. Transition. Jenkins tries to go up, but knocked out of bounds. Last touch off of Tuxin.
And that was a heck of a job by Tuxin, hustling back to force the strip. It was a nice pass from Charlie Marquardt as well. He kind of gave it a no-look pass. But again, you got to credit Assumption for the hustle.
It looks like Abunse and Casper tugging on each other, trying to garner position, and the officials are talking it over, telling them to put their hands up. So they're teaching.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I was going to say, Casper definitely had a handful of Chuck's jersey on the last inbound play.
And Abunse traveled the basketball despite hitting the shot, so basket doesn't count. 7-point lead for Molloy.
And that's generally been the problem for Chucks. When he tries to do a little bit too much, that's when he can get himself into trouble right there. You saw it, a couple of dribbles, a couple of moves. That's where Chucks gets into trouble. He's better with that one-and-out kind of move.
Molloy drops down to a 2-3 zone. After they had Mo Gatson, the only guy who was up high. Little dump pass, offensive foul.
And really, for Charlie Marquardt, not known specifically for his defending, but a guy who just seems to come up with a big steal at the right time, a big charge draw like he just did at the right time. Anytime you leave your feet on the pass like that, you're going to get called for the charge. And that was a great job by Charlie to take it.
8:30 left here in the first period. 5 team fouls against Assumption. Gadsden between the rings, dribbles with his left hand, moves to his right. Now Jenkins on the right wing. Sends it to the far corner. Morris penetrates towards the lane. Straight away, Jenkins on the pass. Little floater. Can't get the rainbow shot to work. Contact, but didn't get the call. Tucks it, moves quick. Now Casper tries a no-look pass. But an offensive foul again. This time Abunse drawing it. So the foul will go against Casper. His first, the team's 6th.
Heck of a job there by Chucks. He saw that maybe Casper was coming in out of control, it seemed like, just getting a bit too far ahead of himself. And a great job by Chucks to read that, draw the contact, and get Molloy the ball right back.
Kamali Bay will enter in for Casper. Up by 7. Here's Mo. To Marquardt. Again, the only guy in double figures right now. Morris now on the near wing, and they float it back out to Gadsden, who directs the plays. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Picks up his dribble. 3-pointer from Marquardt. And he hits another one. 33-23, a 10-point advantage, the largest for Molloy.
I was just about to say, the Assumption had been doing a really good job denying that pass to Charlie, so he hadn't been able to get a shot off. That time, a little exchange with Gadsden. Gadsden set a little pick, and Marquardt hits a 3.
4 of 6 from deep today. Charlie Marquardt as Chucks Abunse blocks it away emphatically. That wakes up the crowd.
The bench, too.
Marquardt, another 3-pointer, this time short rim. As it almost feels like when he's not hitting, he's forcing it. But this time he's actually hitting the shots. Let him go.
Time out!
Quick move in by Jack Sullivan as he worked his way around 2 defenders looking like they were pylons. Off glass and in, 33-25. Assumption's going to call a timeout. Will be their first use of the game. 6:56 left here in the first. And a 33-25 lead. Dan Savarino and Tom Birdie here with you on the Molloy Lions Sports Network. Thank you so much for joining us as part of this doubleheader. And Tom from Molloy, again, picked right now 5th in the ECC. Top 6 make the postseason. It's always a very competitive conference. But right now, borderline playoff team. They haven't played an ECC game yet, but 0-4 on the season. That's also against a Division I opponent like Hofstra.
Right, exactly. And if you look at those other 3 losses, all very close games. A couple of them, by 2 points, 4 points, things like that. So they've been in a lot of games this season. And, unfortunate, they probably should have beaten Caldwell and taken care of business in that game. They did not, but now they get a chance to get a win against a Northeast 10 opponent, who, again, I think they match up very well against and have to look at this as an opportunity to get off the schneid here.
Out of the timeout, O'Reilly enters back in. It's Morris, O'Reilly, Abunse, Gadsden, and Marquardt the 5 from Molloy. Top of the key, drives in, Abunse! Nice little move from Chucks, and 35-25 is the advantage. Sullivan, Owens, as Owens' 3-pointer misses. Sukup, Aiken, and Bay are the 5 for the guys in blue. Morris tries to alter his shot midair, takes a tumble, no call on the play after the miss. And Abunse blocks that one away again. Morris actually slid when he was trying to get over to his man.
Chucks, I got to say, he has been exceptional so far in this game. Charlie Marquardt has been very good, but if anybody's been just as good, it's been Chucks. He's provided some defensive presence inside. He's been, of course, knocking down some buckets, helping out with the rebounding. Great start for him.
21 seconds on the shot clock after the inbound. Straight away, Owens. They move in. That's Sullivan. Can't get the second chance effort to fall. Gadsden comes away with the rock. Under 6 minutes remaining here in the first period. A 10-point lead is the largest for Molloy all game. Marquardt, one dribble towards the hole. 12-point advantage. And Charlie Marquardt has had one heck of a first half.
And great job there, showing that he could score in a couple of different ways. Took his man inside on that one, took some contact, still finished.
Already surpassed his average. 16 points today, averages close to 15 per contest. No shot, they're going to call a foul on the floor. We'll see who they charge this one against. I think it's going to be a Bunse. It'll be his first, team's fourth.
It's been a good job by Molloy also staying out of foul trouble. We mentioned that in the last game against Caldwell. That's what kept the Cougars in that game, really. So good to see that Molloy has maybe learned their lesson.
Bay wasn't paying attention. Marquardt knew it. Poked it away. Now they fight for it right in the mid-paint. But a three-pointer hits from Riley Reed. Okay, it was 50% entering today.
And it feels like he hasn't missed yet tonight. He's already got a couple of threes. He's been a nice boost off the bench.
Gatson, good move, but he's fouled.
I don't know how that ball spun out off the rim. I thought that was going down for sure. The crowd was ready to stand up, get off their feet. And that's what you like to see from Mo Gatson. You know, Molloy really hasn't had too much penetration from their guards today. That's something Mo really specializes in. He's excellent at using his physicality, his explosiveness, and getting to the rim and able to draw the shooting foul there.
Connects on the first attempt. Maurice Gatson didn't even attempt a shot in the last game against Caldwell. And coming off the bench, he played just 8 minutes because he had 3 personals in 8 minutes. So a guy who usually is a fan favorite here, provides such a spark.
Yeah.
Was taking way too many fouls, lost his minutes because of it. And really, those fouls hampered Molloy last game. As you were just mentioning, Tom. As it looks like, I think somebody jumped too early. I think that's the call.
Yeah, lane violation on Assumption there. So that's a lucky break. Gatson will have another chance to knock one down because he missed the second there.
I'm actually saying Bay jumped too early. So Gatson hits the second. 30-second timeout's going to be called by Coach Marquardt and Molloy as they lead by 11. 5:01 left here in the first period of action. Dan Savarino and Tom Birdie here with you. Part of the Molloy Lions doubleheader here on the Sunday. The women's team fell this afternoon to Pace. They had a tough time towards the third quarter and really in the fourth, but right now the men's team trying to salvage, at least trying to come away with maybe a split for the Lions today.
And they're playing well so far. There's no question about that. 3 ball is falling for Charlie Marquardt in particular, but team is playing well. O'Reilly came in. He got the start. He's got 6 points on a couple of threes. Chuck Sabunse has played very well in this game. And if Maurice Gatson can continue to get to the hole like he did on that last possession, that's going to be another way for Molloy to get points on the board.
Aiken, Sukup, Solda, Reed, and Bay are the 5 for Assumption wearing their road blues going from left to right on your computer screens. Sukup, the quick bounce pass, now back to the wing. And they try and post up Bay again. Gets poked loose and now stolen into the hands of Jalen Morris.
Chucks again, another big play.
3-pointer on the way from Marquardt, and he is unstoppable from deep today. Charlie's got 19 points here in the first half.
And I wish I could tell you, Dan, that I'm surprised or that I've never seen Charlie shoot like this, but that's just not true because I have, and I'm not. And, there are just nights where he's close to unstoppable. If you give him anything close to an open look, he's probably going to knock it down. And right now, Assumption has yet to find a way to answer him. And again, I think you have to almost deny him the pass because if he gets the pass, he might shoot and score anyway. So you really have to play him well off the ball and try to get around those screens that Molloy is so adept at setting for him.
I'll tell you what, win or lose today, no matter what, you have to look at as a positive that Marquardt's finally hitting the 3-ball.
Yeah.
Considering he was entering today just under 27%. Quick little sidestep move as Reed's attempt doesn't hit from 15 feet out. On the elbow, that was extended. In transition, got tripped up.
And it's interesting for Brandon Williams. last year was really his first season as one of the key scorers for this team, averaged 14-plus points per game. You know, basically doubling what he had in 13-14, which was about 7.5 points per game. So it's interesting to see what his role is going to be. This year he's only at about 5.5 points per game, while guys like Jenkins, Bowles, Jalen Morris, Charlie all have more points than him in the starting lineup usually. So it's going to be interesting to find out whether Williams looks to continue to push and look for those points, or whether he's more happy to be a distributor this season with some other guys chipping in points around him.
Williams connects on the second. 4:02 left in the first. It's 44-28. Penetrates baseline. Reed fouled by Bowles. Second personal. Sixth team foul for Molloy.
And the Lions have kind of flipped back and forth between the zone and the man defense. That last possession was man. And again, a good job by Reed, a guy who has come in from Mississauga, Ontario, the junior, and has been really a nice 2-year contributor for them, mostly off the bench. And he's averaging 11 points off the bench coming into this game, and he's looked just that good today. He's come in, he's got the 3-ball knocked down, he's able to get to the rim. So a guy who can really do some nice things, the junior, coming off the bench.
I'll tell you what, Tom, you and I have covered a lot of hockey professionally over the last couple of years. To see Mississauga, Ontario, and to see a basketball player is still very strange to me, considering how many hockey guys in the NHL we've covered over the years.
Absolutely, especially any Islander fans out there, the home of John Tavares.
Ryan Strome as well. Marquardt, a three-pointer, looking for his sixth of the day, but he misses. Tried to keep it in. Gatson comes away with the ball. Nice move towards the hole, and he converts. 16-point advantage.
And that's what you're used to seeing from Gatson, that explosive first step, getting that hang time to the rim.
Reed lets Jenkins make the first move, but they push it out to Aiken. Reed on the right wing. They work it around to the far side, back to Julian Aiken, the senior. Reed beats his man. 17-foot jumper. Good. 46-32.
And he's now got the last 7 points for this Assumption team.
Should point out, Charlie Marquardt, 5 3-pointers made. He's just 2 away from tying the team record for 3-point field goals made in a single game. Done 4 different times, twice by Jimmy Nolan, who holds a 3-point field goal record. One of the better ones that we've seen. Marquardt tried the little dump pass, looking for Jenkins, and I think Jenkins pleading his case that it got deflected. He may be right, or I may be crazy, but got knocked out of bounds.
Well, it just may be a lunatic that these fans are looking for.
To the mid-block, straight away, Owens. Fouled by Jenkins.
That was a bit of a size mismatch there, no question about it. Owens going up against Jenkins. And Jenkins does have some nice length, but Owens 3 inches at least on him, and definitely some muscle as well, able to get to the line.
This one was a shooting foul, but both teams now in the bonus, so they'll be shooting at least in 1-1. First one converts from Trey Owens. Born in Spain, 6'6", 210-pound senior. Again, he went to UC Riverside, Division I school, and transferred over. 46-33 lead. And again, you can never count an opposition out. Molloy needs to play a complete 40 minutes of basketball. The second half has always been their struggles. As the Farmingdale native Jenkins puts up another 2, it's 48-33. Wide open three-pointer from Solda. Swish.
And for Molloy, you really cannot afford to give up wide open looks in transition like that. Not enough hustle. You got to get back, mark your man.
Gatson on the far wing. Pulls back for a long 2-pointer. It's front iron and rebounded by Assumption. 90 seconds left here in the first. Dump pass, far corner for Reed, looking for the 3-ball. Can't convert. Morris on the transition. Williams straight to the hole, too strong. Tempo really picked up here. Into the near corner, Owens. Now they work it around to the far side. Here's Solda, another three ball. 48-39. Boy, oh boy, if you like three-pointers, you are getting them today.
Back-to-back triples there from Solda. That's enough to call a timeout for Coach Marquardt, unhappy with the way that his team is, I guess, probably getting back in transition. That's not usually a problem for these Molloy teams. They're usually very athletic, especially with the 4-guard, 1-forward kind of sets that they like to play. So a bit surprising that Assumption's been able to exploit that the last couple trips down.
Make sure you stay tuned. The Molloy Lions halftime report presented by Jake's Steakhouse of East Meadow will be coming up next. Tom and I will break down a little bit of the first half, preview the second, give you some stats and analysis, and then we'll start the second period with most likely, unless something very drastic happens, Molloy will be leading going into halftime, which is so important for them. Again, they led into half last week against Caldwell. I think that's the toughest part too, Tom. You're coming off a loss where it's such a tight loss. You had the chance to put the game away. You didn't. You lose on a buzzer beater. Always the best thing to do after a tough loss is to play right away, but instead you had to wait 10 days until now, so I'm sure it was a very tough couple of weeks of practice.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been stewing definitely in their minds for the last couple of days, and I think it came out with a bit of a fast start today, but it was the same thing in that Caldwell game, so it didn't necessarily mean that they were going to come out and lead after the first half, but so far that sort of looks like they're on pace to do with this 9-point lead, 1:05 left.
Seems they've played good first halves in almost every single game this season, whether on the road, even against Hofstra, where they've played a pretty good first half, but it was too much to handle against a very good Division I opponent. The Pride this year expected to do big things in their conference, already with a couple of big wins this season. So to compete with them, that's a good experience going forward, because I don't think they're going to see a team better maybe than Hofstra this year. There's a few teams, I'm sure, in the ACC that can definitely compete with a team like the Pride, but again, when you take on a Division I opponent, that's just a whole different kind of ballgame. Gatson, only 1 second on the shot clock. They're going to say no basket.
It's too bad, too, because it was a really nice play in the end. Jenkins with that backdoor cut on the baseline. Nobody picking him up, but the pass just a little bit too late, and Jenkins not able to get it off in time.
4-second differential between the shot and game clock, so Molloy almost guaranteed another possession, unless Assumption picks up a rebound here. So they're going to use most of this clock. Pick set high from Owens. Here's Tuckson. Trailing by 9. Tuckson drives in. He's fouled. He'll shoot at least a 1-and-1. I think they're going to say on the floor. Actually, he's going to say shoot 2, so I guess it was in the act of shooting.
We talked about the first half, second half differential for Molloy, a stat I'm sure we'll bring up again, but first half scoring for Molloy, -2 on the season. Second half scoring, Dan, -60. So clearly the second half has been a big problem for this team all year, and again, just makes you feel like this lead is obviously not quite enough. 8 points and now getting smaller with 11.6 left.
Converts the front end of the 1-and-1, so I guess they did say he was on the floor. And he hits both. Down by 7. Molloy lets the ball roll out past the midcourt stripe. 10 seconds is when he picks it up. Second time Williams has slipped and fell. 3 seconds. Long three-pointer from Marquardt. Back iron. And that's how the first half will end. So Molloy and Assumption loving the deep ball. And right now it's the Lions ahead 48-41 after 20 minutes of play.
And he just had that feeling that Charlie Marquardt wanted it. And it's hard to argue with him when he was so dynamic in that first half. Took a step back, deep NBA range three-pointer, unable to connect, but it was a good first half for him, and the Lions have a 7-point lead.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's the Molloy Lions halftime report presented by Jake's Steakhouse of East Meadow. We'll be right back with some stats and a little bit of analysis in a few minutes here on the Molloy Lions Sports Network.
Jake's Steakhouse is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. Not only does Jake's have great food and drinks, but it features Sunday brunch too. Free hot cereal and coffee or tea with any entree, plus bottomless Bloody Marys and mimosas for only $10. Spend your next Sunday brunch at Jake's, 2172 Hempstead Turnpike in East Meadow.
Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. Hurry down to Casey's because now through October, Casey's Rooftop Bar, Rooftop 32, is open for dining. Have a Lions Land card? Receive a 10% discount on your order. Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails, 23 North Park Avenue in Rockville Center.
Stay tuned, stats and expert analysis are just moments away on the Molloy Lions Halftime Report, presented by Jake's Steakhouse of East Meadow.
MolloyLions.com is your official online home for Molloy College Athletics. Game recaps, highlights, stats, exclusive stories and interviews, and much, much more. All on your online home for Molloy College Athletics, www.MolloyLions.com.
Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. Casey's is open 7 days a week for dinner with plenty of salads, sandwiches, and entrees to choose from. Casey's is also open for lunch Thursday through Sunday and for Sunday brunch. On the go, takeout is available, plus on-site and off-premise catering to suit all of your catering needs. And now through October, Casey's Rooftop Bar, Rooftop 32, is open for dining. Plus, you can receive a 10% discount with a Lions Land card. All at Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails, 23 North Park Avenue in Rockville Center.
What's the lowdown on Molloy College athletics? Watch the Lions Lowdown. Hear from your favorite coaches and student athletes of the Molloy College Lions. Watch on MolloyLions.com or follow our YouTube channel, Molloy Lions.
Mercy Medical Center and South Island Orthopedic Group are the proud medical providers of Molloy College Athletics. They are committed to serving the community with state-of-the-art, compassionate health care. You can reach them at 516-62-MERCY or on the web at www.mercymedicalcenter.chsli.org.
William J. Schwartz Physical Therapy and Pro Sports Care of Long Island is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. William J. Schwartz Physical Therapy and Pro Sports Care of Long Island is a full-service sports injury center for rehabilitation, strength and conditioning, and sports enhancement training. William J. Schwartz has 17 years of experience with athletes. Call 516-798-9605 for more information. MolloyLions.com is your official broadcast home for Molloy College Athletics. Hear all the exciting action of every Molloy Lions game live right here on MolloyLions.com. Remember, your home for Molloy College Athletics is www.MolloyLions.com.
It's the Molloy Lions Halftime Report, brought to you by Jake's Steakhouse.
It's the Molloy Lions Halftime Report presented by Jake's Steakhouse of East Meadow. Heck of a steak, by the way, if you've ever been to Jake's Steakhouse. Not too far from my house either. I've been there a couple times. Pretty good. Dan Savarino and Tom Verdi here with you on the Molloy Lions Sports Network. Molloy leads Assumption 48-41 after 20 minutes of play. Taking a look at some of the leaders in the game. Charlie Marquardt, 19 points, leads all scorers. 7 of 12 from the field, 5 of 10 from three-point land, and just 2 3-pointers away from tying the record with 4 other players for most three-point field goals made in a contest. Outside of that for Molloy on the scoring, Abunse has 6 points, so does Chris O'Reilly, who again made the start today. 5 points from Kevin Bowles, 4 from Mo Gatson, and then 2 each from Brandon Williams and Curtis Jenkins. Leading for Assumption, it's 12 points from Riley Reed. He was 2 for 3 from deep. 7 points for Jack O'Sullivan. 6 points, Jack Sullivan, no O'Sullivan, putting the O'Reilly and O'Sullivan together. So Jack Sullivan has 7 points, 6 points from Declan Shukup, the team's leading scorer, and 5 points from Kamali Bay. Rebounds advances just by 1, 16-15 in favor of Assumption. The 3-ball, though, both teams 7 of 15 from deep, 46.7% from beyond the arc for both of these teams. Molloy shooting 50% from the field, while Assumption just about 45% after 20 minutes of play. And Tom, the first half, again, we mentioned in the pregame that these two teams very similar, love to run.
Yeah.
We even saw that 5 minutes in, even 30 seconds in, both teams taking shots right away, no more than 10 seconds into the shot clock.
I think it's really the way that Molloy has come to play in these last couple of years particularly. They're a team that usually scores above 40% from the field goal range, but also gives up close to 40-50% as well. So that's what we've seen on the year. That's what we've seen this season. A lot of buckets in this game. High tempo, 36 shot attempts for Molloy, 29 for Assumption in that first half. So the team's filling up the stat sheets. Both are looking to push the tempo when they can, and both with a bevy of three-point shooters that have really started to add up. And I guess, as we talked about, both teams a solid 47% from three-point range.
When you look at, again, both of these squads, not very big, so that's why the rebounding number maybe isn't as high. Offensive rebounds is 3-2 in favor of Molloy. You haven't really seen a lot of those second-chance efforts, but half the time you haven't needed to because both teams have been really shooting efficiently.
Well, that's very true. That's a good point. I mean, both teams have been mostly knocking down their shots, and I think the defensive rebounding has been pretty good for both sides, fighting hard for it, not letting the other teams get those second-chance opportunities. So, we'll see how it goes. But again, I think you can't undervalue what Chuck Abunse provided in that first half. 6 points, 2 blocks. He was a defensive presence. He provided a good offensive presence down low. So I thought he was a big boost for Molloy. And also for Charlie Marquardt, what he did away from the shooting. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. He's found other ways just besides shooting to get involved, playing some very solid defense, pulling down some much-needed rebounds. And as you know, Dan, when you don't have maybe that one big guy that'll pull in 8-10 a game for you, it becomes a team effort, and your guards really have to chip in and do some rebounding as well. One
number that really stands out to me, Tom, is assist to turnovers. 15 as a team, 5 turnovers from Molloy total. But Brandon Williams, your point guard, doing and exceeding what you want him to do. 7 assists to 0 turnovers. Only has 2 points, but he has been distributing the basketball very well today.
Well, that's the key. I mean, for Molloy, great ratio there, 15-5. Only 8-6 for Assumption, but they only had 13 made field goals, so they assisted 8 of 13. That's a good number. Molloy's is obviously better. 15 of their 18 field goals have been assisted, and it's really been moving the ball well. Again, so much of what Charlie Marquardt does, besides just him knocking down the three, it's the screen that gets him open, the pass that finds him wide open. So it really is a team effort for this Molloy team, and so many of his buckets become assisted buckets, again, not only from the pass, but also from the screen as well.
Now, Tom, second half has been a struggle for this team all season long. It's been a struggle even last year. They dropped some games late. Because of that, you're up by only 7 points right now. How do you continue to keep rolling here in the second half and not really do what happened even last week against Caldwell?
Well, I mean, the worrying thing for Molloy, since they're not getting stops really defensively, is that they have to keep shooting as well as they have. And if they start to cool off from the field, that could really put a dent in their plans, because right now they're just playing this high-event type of game where they're scoring a lot, giving up a lot of points. Both teams on pace to score, close to 90 in this one. So for Molloy, that becomes the worrying concern. If they do cool off, I think they're really going to have to put in a much more concerted effort on the defensive side of things. Right now, we saw at the end of that half, losing their man in transition a few times, letting Assumption hit some open threes. Charlie Marquardt's not going to be happy with that. He's known as a defensive coach. He was a heck of a defensive player, known for his tenacious D during his time at St. Joseph. So I think there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to want a better defensive performance in the second half to try to hang on to this lead.
Again, the Greyhounds, their defense has been one of the question marks last week. On Tuesday, actually, they gave up 103 in a 103-86 loss to Bentley, most points they've allowed since 2013. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be the start of the second half, and Tom's keys to the game, well, keys to the second half at least. We're right back here on the Molloy Lions Sports Network.
What's the lowdown on Molloy College athletics? Watch the Lions Lowdown. Hear from your favorite coaches and student athletes of the Molloy College Lions. Watch on MolloyLions.com or follow our YouTube channel, Molloy Lions.
MolloyLions.com is your official broadcast home for Molloy College athletics. Hear all the exciting action of every Molloy Lions game live right here on MolloyLions.com. Remember, your home for Molloy College athletics is www.MolloyLions.com.
This is the home for Molloy College athletics, www.MolloyLions.com.
Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. Looking for great food around campus? Casey's is open 7 days a week for dinner with plenty of salads, sandwiches, and entrees to choose from. Casey's is also open for lunch Thursday through Sunday and for Sunday brunch. On the go, takeout is available, plus on-site and off-premise catering to suit all your catering needs. All at Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails, 23 North Park Avenue in Rockville Center.
This is the home for Molloy College athletics, www.MolloyLions.com.
Can't get enough Molloy College athletics? Tune in 15 minutes prior to every Lions home game for the Molloy Lions pregame show. Stats, analysis, and interviews to get you set for the game. It's the Molloy Lions pregame show, and it starts 15 minutes prior to every home game right here on your home for Molloy College athletics, www.MolloyLions.com.
Jake's Steakhouse is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. Come down to Jake's for happy hour every Monday through Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. and Sundays from 12 to 7 p.m. $4 mixed drinks, $5 select house wines by the glass, $4 select domestic beer, and $5 select craft beers. Looking for some delicious food? Jake's Sunset Special features a price-fixed menu Sunday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m., 3 courses for just $24.95. Friday night at Jake's is Prime Rib Night, a delicious 26-ounce prime rib with popover, mashed potatoes, and dessert, all for just $49. Can't get enough? Well, Jake's does brunch too. Sunday mornings receive free hot cereal and coffee or tea with any entree, plus bottomless Bloody Marys and mimosas for $10. And don't forget, you get 10% off at Jake's Monday through Saturday with a Lions Land card. Jake's Steakhouse, 2172 Hempstead Turnpike in East Meadow.
Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. Casey's is open 7 days a week for dinner with plenty of salads, sandwiches, and entrees to choose from. Casey's is also open for lunch Thursday through Sunday and for Sunday brunch. On the go, takeout is available, plus on-site and off-premise catering to suit all of your catering needs. And now through October, Casey's Rooftop Bar, Rooftop 32, is open for dining. Plus, you can receive a 10% discount with a Lions Land card. All at Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails, 23 North Park Avenue in Rockville Center.
William J. Schwarz Physical Therapy and Pro Sports Care of Long Island is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. William J. Schwarz Physical Therapy and Pro Sports Care of Long Island is a full-service sports injury center for rehabilitation, strength and conditioning, and sports enhancement training. William J. Schwarz has 17 years of experience with athletes. Call 516-798-9605 for more information.
Wheelie Gymnasium, 48-41 advantage for Molloy over Assumption here At the Lions Den, Dan Savarino and Tom Verdi. Before we start, quick, Tom, your keys for the second half.
Well, again, I think transition defense is going to have to be key for Molloy. They got lax with it a bit in that end of the first half. They gave up some wide-open looks, and that's uncharacteristic for them. They usually punish opposing teams for slow getting back on transition defense, and obviously if they can keep scoring the way they're doing, that'll be a big help.
Sukup right away, the team's leading scorer. Good, and the foul is going to head to the line again. Not the best first half for a guy who's been really lighting up the scoreboards the last couple of weeks. Been double figures 4 of the 5 games this year. But as of right now, he puts up 2. Jumped ahead of myself as the rebound was picked up by Bay. 3-pointer from Sullivan, front rim, and rebounded by Molloy. They're going from left to right. They're wearing their home white jerseys with the maroon numbering and maroon trim. Assumption from right to left, wearing their road blues with the white numbering and the black trim. Reset the lineup for you. Marquardt with the ball now. It's Marquardt, Bowles, Brandon Williams, O'Reilly, and Jalen Morris. As an off-ball foul, looks like it's going to go against Bay. Reset the lineup for Assumption. You got Trey Owens. You have Declan Sukup, number 21. Kamali Bay, Jack Sullivan, and Julian Aikman. So the starting 5 for both of these teams.
Aiken, a very quiet first half, I thought. Didn't really notice him much out there for a guy who came in averaging almost 9 points a game.
0 for 3 from the field. Straight away, it's Williams. Bounce past the Bulls. Drives the paint, right elbow, jumper, good. 50-43 is the score, less than 1 minute into the second half.
And again, that looks like the Kevin Bowles that we saw in his first couple of seasons here. Really struggled shooting last year, but if he starts to shoot like that, it's just another added person who can knock down a shot. And meanwhile, back at the other end, Bay, a big shot, and he gets the foul.
2 straight possessions where Assumption hit the bucket and got to head to the line. Sukup missed his N1 opportunity, and now Bay, a guy who was 20 of 31 entering today, averaging 14 points per game. 20 of 31, that's free throw numbers. Looking to try and cut into this lead to a 4-point game, and he does that.
And right now, the concern for Molloy has to be that they are allowing penetration way too easily. There's no defense on the interior, and 2 times already to start this half, it's been drives, guys knocking down the buckets, and getting fouled as well.
O'Reilly's long 2-pointer misses. And both of these teams have been really attempting the 3-ball. 7 of 15 and now 7 of 16. Base spin move doesn't work, but the putback and first 2 points from Julian Aiken. That goes. It's a 2-point lead just for Molloy.
A 7-2 run to start the half for Assumption as they've come out the much better team.
Marquardt from the stripe and connects. 4-point lead back for the Lions. Sukup named a WACBA Player of the Week. That's the Worcester Area College Basketball Association. A lot of teams up there in that area, actually. Some Division I teams, Division II teams. He was named the Player of the Week last week after having one heck of a week, too. I mean, this guy last year only averaging 3 points per game in 11 minutes, really taking on a huge role as Marquardt's going to be charged with a foul. He thought he got ball.
Yeah, it looked like the ball squirted out, so I didn't really see too much to be called a foul there. But you go back to Sukup. This is a guy that's been involved with the Australian youth national team program, so clearly a guy with some kind of pedigree coming all the way over here to play college ball, again, originally at the D1 level before settling in at Assumption, and seems to have found a nice little role for himself here, become one of their top players.
I'll tell you what, Tom, even when you play over there at the international level, the amount of experience that you garner by playing at that level and playing guys from around the nation. I've spoken to many National League players in different countries. Lithuania won. And he was telling me, Rokas Gusti is over at Hofstra, he was saying the guys he's played against, Andrew Wiggins, Jaleel Okafor, playing against some of the best players, guys who were in the NBA, and the experience that you pick up, it just elevates your game. So Molloy actually has 3 team fouls in less than 3 minutes of play. I don't even think they got the 3 team fouls within the first 12 or 13 minutes in the first half. Again, foul trouble hurt them last game. Williams, good and one. Drives down the lane, puts it up with the right hand. Contact made. He's going to head to the stripe.
And it's not even so much that the referees have had any choice in calling these fouls. So many of them have been in the act. A couple of three-point play attempts for Assumption, and now obviously Williams a chance to get three of the old-fashioned way here.
The officials today, Guy Pagano, Nathan Hall, and Phil Salustio Jr. Williams, it's the end one opportunity. It was also the first field goal made by Brandon Williams. And he was 0 for 5 after that first half, but 7 assists, 0 turnovers. That's the number that matters the most to any point guard. Leaps over Bay, keeps up his dribble, and then picks himself back up, and now he's comfortable and gets to run the offense. He's been sliding all over the place. Can't tell if it's his shoes or maybe just the floor, because Morris has gone sliding as well. Skip pass straight away, Marquardt. Here's a long two-pointer. That's good, 57-48. Marquardt has 20 points in this contest.
And a nice little answer from Molloy, 7-0 run after Assumption cut it to a 2-point game.
21 points to be exact. Again, 5 three-pointers made in the game. He was hot early. Now the other way, Aiken. So they'll count the bucket. And Aiken's going to head to the line again. We've seen a lot of N1s here.
And a real teachable moment here. Charlie Marquardt talking to the freshman Chris O'Reilly, letting him know that if you're going to foul the guy, you can't let him also make the bucket right there.
Has a word with him, gives him a little pat on the back and says, get back out there. Again, O'Reilly, hard-nosed guard, starting to adapt here. Had a good good high school career at Colts Neck. He had a 43-point outing once. He's scored over 1,000 points in his career. As Marquardt's fadeaway jumper, about 10 feet on the near baseline, doesn't fall, but the ball's back and a fresh 30 on the shot clock for Molloy. Now Morris, his three-pointer misses. Jalen Morris, one guy whose name we really haven't said, he had just 4 points in that first half. Transition, three-pointer misses. The putback, no good. They fight for it underneath the basket. Skips through, still loose on the carpet. Or on the hardwood, I should say. Carpet, I'm still used to using football terms. Still in football mode. So still loose on the ground, they'll call it jump ball.
And again, it got lax there from Molloy. They gave him a pretty open look for three, missed it. They had one chance on the tip-in, no box out. A second chance for an offensive rebound because of no box out. And then finally they got fortunate enough that they forced a jump ball. But it's got to be better right now. A little bit too lax on the defensive side.
Williams penetrates, and my opinion, very weak foul call. It's going to call one of those hand checks. It's going to be the fourth on Sukup. And for them, that's going to hurt, considering he's their leading scorer. He has lost some minutes here. He had 3 personals in the first.
A guy who really likes to push the break and, so vital in running the offense for them as that kind of point guard position.
Morris, skip pass, wide open three-pointer from Riley. Yes! 3 three-pointers for number 13. Push out high, Aiken, step back jumper. Three-pointer himself, and he hits it. He's fired up. They trail by 6.
He must have heard me talking about how he struggled in that first half because he's been lighting it up in the second.
No basket. Aiken, 8 points in the second half alone. Again, he did not score in the first, been 3 for 3 here in the second.
And Aiken actually has the last 8 points for Assumption.
Bay takes a seat, tucks in, enters back in. Morris, Marquardt, three-pointer. He's been getting a little cold from deep on his last few attempts. Here is Solda, but blocked away.
And one thing I've really noticed in this half, Dan, is head coach Michael Harding for the Greyhounds in his first season. He's been up off the bench. He's been encouraging his guys, telling them to push the tempo every chance they get.
Sullivan brings it back to a 4-point contest. Molloy's only up by 4 now. They've led as much as 15, 16 points. Williams directs traffic, as always. 12 seconds now on the shot clock. Marquardt floats one into Morris. I'm going to say last off of Assumption. Look pretty close, in my opinion. Our vantage point over here is right from your camera view on the press row over here.
And again, Molloy making a real concerted effort to try to get Morris involved in this game. Only 4 points. They came early in the first half, but in the meantime, Charlie Marquardt picking up the slack.
25 points for Marquardt. Sullivan, too strong, and he gives out a yell in frustration. Morris behind the back, in traffic, and good. That's what Jalen Morris does best, going straight to the hole.
And really, it's the way that he thinks on the fly. He's so good in that regard. He makes things happen, does behind the back, tough finishes at the rim. That's his specialty.
Answering back, Riley Reed, the Mississauga, Ontario native.
And again, as far as I'm concerned, for Molloy, too easy for Assumption to penetrate right now. They're getting high percentage chances, Dan, time and time again. And eventually, Molloy's going to have to step it up on defense. I think we're going to see Chuck Sabunse come in to try to provide a better interior presence.
Let's go!
Williams goes right against Tuckson. Rebound and now transition. Tuckson to Reed. And it's a 4-point game. Reed now has 16 points.
Jack, when he forces the ground! Jack, when he
Reed
forces the
6
ground,
of
high
9
ball.
from the field today, including 2 of 3 from deep.
Pressure, Tuck! Go, Tuck! Go, Tuck! Go, Tuck!
Morris gets double teamed, but shoots over his defenders anyway. 6-point lead back.
Yeah, kind of a soft double team there, and you could hear the Assumption bench was calling for a stronger double team because they know what Morris is capable of in that one-on-one matchup.
Aiken just keeps it in after almost gets knocked out. Right off the fingertips. Working around far side. Here's Sullivan. Penetrates in, pushes back out. Aiken drives the paint. In traffic. Good! And they're going to call an offensive foul.
So a lucky break there for Molloy. And you know what I was just thinking, Dan? We really haven't had to worry about a shot clock violation in this game. They got under 10 seconds there for what feels like the first time probably all game because these teams have not waited around. They've been shooting early and often.
Assumption at first was, I think, pleading for a restricted zone violation.
Yeah, it was very close, honestly. I do agree.
Abunse does come in. And now an offensive foul against the Lions. So a turnover from right to left now. Here comes Assumption. Trey Owens will inbound right in front of the Molloy bench.
And again, it was the freshman O'Reilly. And Coach Marquardt keeping his faith in the young man. And, he's knocked down a couple of big threes, I think, to warrant some of that level of comfort.
That's what he does that Curtis Jenkins cannot do, or really doesn't do often, is shoot the 3-ball.
And there you see, again, way too much space up top.
So Sullivan's 2 points. They keep getting it back to within 4. They got it into within 2 before. They're getting close, but they just can't get over the hump. Williams dribbles between his legs, goes into a triple team coverage, tries to dump it off on the bounce pass to Abunse underneath the basket. He slides it out, but another turnover for Molloy, second straight.
And that was a very difficult pass. It was a little bit behind Chuck's. He had to reach back for it in some traffic. Not really a surprise that he wasn't able to get it to the hoop. And actually, it was a nice play to keep it alive for as long as he did, but unfortunately couldn't find Williams.
Curtis Jenkins, Maurice Gatson check in. Pull back, straight away, bang! Justin Tuckson brings it into a 1-point disadvantage still for Assumption, but they have been right in this contest.
Pressure on the wing! Pressure, Silva! Help him!
Gatson picks up his dribble, drives baseline, kicks out to Jenkins into the near corner.
Solid, Matt! Come on, Matt!
They work it back out to Mo. who now goes over the Molloy Lions logo. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Drives in. And he gets fouled very close to a travel violation. That's what Assumption was pleading for. I think they have a good case to be made. The foul's going to go against Matt Solda. So Molloy can bring this back to a 3-point lead again.
And the foul on the floor, I believe, but the 7th team foul for Assumption, so I believe it's going to be 1-on-1 upcoming.
No, you're right. They signal 1-and-1. So Mo on the front end, and he misses. Rebounded by Sullivan, and he turns on the Jets immediately. 3-pointer. Here's Bay! And the lead is back for Assumption. Their first one since early in the first half.
And too often now we've seen Molloy failure to pick up those late trailers jumping into the play.
You wouldn't think with Bay, a guy who's mostly been down low. Such a strong, big, wide individual.
Yep.
Shot a good ball. Here's Morris. Kicks out. Wide open Williams. Gatson drives in. Contact. And the foul is going to go against Assumption on the block.
And I got to say, in addition to just grabbing the lead back in general, it just feels like the momentum's starting to swing in Assumption's favor here. Their bench is into it. Their coaching staff is into it. Their players are obviously feeling good right now. And for Molloy, you have to be worried because they haven't been quite flowing on offense the way that Assumption has.
Been the same exact thing. I feel like time and time again. First half strong. Second half, come out all right. Start missing some shots. Start turning over the basketball a little bit. And then from there on out, you know, the other team's hitting their shots, and that's all that matters.
And that's the first lead of the game since they led it 9-8 back early first half.
Gatson looking to tie the score. And converts, so 68 all. 9 minutes, 30 seconds into this second period. Tuxin on the handoff to Sullivan, but dispossessed of the basketball. Here comes Gatson, one-on-one, straight in. And the foul is going to be on the floor. So it'll be a 1-and-1. Going to go against Sullivan.
Yeah, for a guy like Gatson, he just had to expect that he wasn't going to slow down there. So explosive, that's just his game. Tries to force the issue, and did so again there, getting himself back to the line. But again, free throws are going to be key, especially as the game's shaping up to be tight down the stretch here. They're going to have to find a way to hit their free throws. And now a big moment for Assumption as well. Sukup coming back in. He's got 4 fouls, so he's going to really have to play it tight. And I wonder if you'll see Molloy really attack right at him here. Maybe a guy like Gatson try to get him to pick up that 5th.
Team fouls were 3-0 less than 3 minutes in. Molloy had 3. Since then, they've only fouled twice, and they're in the bonus. As Mo misses the front end of the 1-and-1 for the second time. So again, not only do you miss there, but that's another 2 attempts at a point that go away.
Leaving free points out on the board.
Sukup straight into traffic and hits it.
And you could hear right from the bench, the head man for Assumption telling Sukup, do not foul. He's got 4. Obviously, that will put him out of the game.
Here, Molloy, I think you have to go straight at him.
Yep.
But Abunse, first 2 points here in the second half. And the big fella is in double figures for the first time this season. Trey Owens looking for the tray, but he misses. 70 all is the score. 9:30 left. Mo Gatson giving the lead back to Molloy. Sukup calls the timeout on the floor. 2-point lead for Molloy. 9:22 remaining here in the contest, and a full timeout is called by Assumption.
And just as quickly as Assumption grabbed that 2-point lead, Molloy now on a 6-2 run to grab the lead back at 72-70.
So you take a look at some of the stats in this contest right now. 3-pointers. Boy, oh boy, have there been a lot of 3-pointers attempted. 10 for 22 for Assumption, 8 for 18 for Molloy. 5 of those made have come from the hands of Charlie Marquardt, the other ones from Chris O'Reilly. Field goal percentage, both teams are shooting at 50% or above. 50% exactly for Assumption, 54% for Molloy. 3-point is 44 to 45%, right around that number. And in free throws, that's the point right now where Molloy's leaving them on the board. And Assumption left 5 points out there, 10 for 15, but Molloy 8 for 12. But don't forget, some of those misses were N1 opportunities. Some of those misses were also on front ends of 1-and-1. So, again, rebounds +3 for Assumption. It really hasn't been a battle along the glass.
No.
It's been a straight shooting contest and a high-scoring affair between two teams that love to run.
That's what happens when both teams are shooting so well. Now both teams shooting 50% or better overall. One thing that has slowed down a little bit, at least in the last 3 or 4 minutes, has been the three ball, as both teams are seemingly finding ways to get penetration and get more high percentage looks inside.
And if you're just joining us, Charlie Marquardt has 25 points in the contest. He led all scorers with 19 after 20 minutes. Came out with a really hot hand, hitting the three ball, and since then, it's cooled off a bit. Pick set by Reed. They push it back to Aiken, who's had a good second half here. All points coming in this second period. Here's Tuckson, three-pointer. That's short. Rebounded by Owens. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. 9 minutes on the game clock. Tuckson works top of the key. Three-pointer from Reed. Yes! 73-72, the lead back for the Greyhounds.
And again, to me, Reed has really stepped up and been the biggest player on this Assumption team. Whenever they need a big shot, it seems like he's there for one.
Jenkins thinks of a three-pointer, but again, that's not his game. He can shoot the three. He's attempted the three, but you don't always see him there. Now Abunse puts it over the net by about 2 feet. Tuckson.
Now this is where Chucks has to hustle back.
And Aiken can't get the layup to fall.
And you can see Chuck slow getting back. He kind of got disoriented, was left out of position, and then winds up taking a foul there. Was nearly a three-point play possibility. But that's Chuck's. He picks up his third now, and the 6th team foul as well for Molloy. So from here on out, Assumption will be shooting.
That's the one weakness, really, of Chuck's Abunse, is the fact that he can't run up and down the floor as quick as some of the other guys. He's pretty good in the post.
Yeah.
Well, when you spot him up, he'll get the job done down there for you. But once that transition game starts to pick up, and after a miss, and the numbers go the other way, it's a little harder for him.
And when you compare him to some other guys that Molloy has had playing in that, kind of 4 or 5 stretch role, Prendergast, Zoller, Bowles the last couple of years, all of those guys you would have to say are a little bit quicker hustling up and down the floor. So that's the one spot where Chucks maybe lacks behind them, but he does bring you that power in a way that those other guys do not.
Up by 2 is Assumption. Near corner, Marquardt. To Jenkins, works his way in. Jump pass to the near corner, Bowles. Skip straight away. Morris for 3. Yes! Jalen Morris gives the lead back to the Lions. 8 minutes left. Jalen's first tray of the game. O'Sullivan between the rings. Tucks it now, Aiken. Penetrates towards the paint. Draws some contact, no call. Misses, rebounded by Gatson. Keeps the legs churning, hands it off to Marquardt. Three-pointer from Charlie. And that one is short. Tucks him behind the back, extended from the right elbow. And the lead once more to the Greyhounds.
And Tuckson may have gotten away with one there. Looked like he might have extended that forearm just a little bit of a push-off, enough to get some separation from Mo Gatson and knock down the shot.
In front, Jack! Lefty, Jack! Stay in front!
Jenkins tries to go behind his back. Dispossessed, turnover. Tuckson straight to the hole. Misses the putback from Aiken. And a 3-point lead for Assumption.
And no box out yet again for Molloy. Way too easy for Aiken to follow up and clean it up.
Timeout call. There'll be a full timeout by Molloy. They're down to 4 in the contest. 78-75 lead for Assumption. A team, again, that trailed as much as almost 15 back in that first. But since then, they've been able to cut the score back, get it closer, and then once they got over the hump, it's pretty much been trading the lead back and forth between the two sides.
Yeah, it became a 46-30 lead on a Maurice Gatson two-pointer back in the first half. And ever since then, it has been Assumption finding ways to carve into this lead. And now more recently, they're able to take a lead over this last good stretch that they've had, racking up an 8-2 run, helping them out to this 3-point lead here.
Balanced scoring for Assumption. 5 different players are in double figures. And then the other 2 guys who played more than 2 minutes. Solda's played 19 minutes, Tucson has 22 minutes played, and they have 8 and 7 points, respectively. So, very balanced scoring you're seeing from Assumption in this game. For Molloy, it's really just been the Charlie Marquardt show throughout the first half, but he's just 5 for 12 now, so that percentage starting to go down, missing a lot of shots here, hasn't been able to hit a 3-pointer in the second half.
No, he's definitely slowed up, and it's kind of interesting that the similar type of scorers, Jenkins and Morris, have both each struggled scoring the ball today. So I think you have to give Assumption a lot of credit for having that tight interior defense. They haven't allowed those guys who love to drive inside and get those tough looks. They haven't let those guys get those chances, and instead they've had guys like Marquardt settle and force those outside shots.
Morris, the team's leading scorer every game this season. They dump off to Bowles. Skip pass. Williams thinks about the shot. Pump fakes. Moves in towards the paint. That's a little shot. The fall. 1-point lead still for Assumption. 6:35. Tucson on the handoff to Bay. Straight away. Now Bay once more. 10 feet out. Spin move. Hard move towards the paint. Off glass. Can't get it to go. Gatson picks up the board.
Big rebound by Mo. That's the high-energy guy type of player that he is, coming up with a couple of big defensive rebounds.
6:05 left here in the second. Bounce pass, I think attempted for Marquardt, but it was just out of his reach. Tucson. They'll hand off to Solda. And now Aiken. Far corner, 15 seconds on the shot clock, 5:45 now on the game clock. They floated out straight away, Tucson. Now Solda to the near corner, 3-pointer from Sullivan. Hits back iron, rebounded by Bowles. Williams drives in. Right hook shot, good. Lead is back for Molloy, 79-78.
4 straight points for Brandon Williams.
He was 0 for 5 from the field after 20 minutes. Putting up some points here in the second half, and a 1-point lead now for Molloy. Timeout called by Assumption. They're down to 3, both teams down to 3 timeouts remaining with 5:18 left here in the contest. And again, a very important game, I think, for Molloy to at least get over that hump for themselves. Get that first win on the season. They're right now 0-4. After losing, a tough game last time against Caldwell, from here on out, it's not going to get much easier. You start to get into conference play soon. After today, it'll be Dominican on Wednesday. That'll be our next broadcast also at 7:30 start. But then after that, 3 straight games on the road, all 3 in conference play.
Yeah, just like the women's team, starting with 3 straight games on the road. And you know what? Some pretty tough teams in there as well. Mercy hasn't exactly been lighting the field on fire, but Stack and UDC are 2 teams that I would say Molloy can definitely find themselves in contention with for one of those last spots in the postseason. So no question that they're going to have to do some business early on here. And it would definitely be nice, not, the most important thing, but it would definitely be nice to get off the schneid, as we talked about, get their first win today, maybe turn it into a 2-game winning streak on Wednesday, and then you're feeling pretty good about yourself heading into that road trio of conference games.
Dan Savarino, Tom Birdie here on the Molloy Lions Sports Network. Thank you so much for joining us as part of this doubleheader on MolloyLions.com. Wherever you're watching, whether it's at home, on your phone, across the country, or here locally, we thank you so much for joining us, and you have been able to witness a good one. So have we here at Quealy Gymnasium. Good pick set on Williams by Reed as Aiken comes away with the rock. Suda straight in. Too strong. Gatson with another board. He's picked up 3 already in the last couple of minutes. Under 5 minutes left. Molloy's up by 1. Brandon Williams, 6 straight points for the point guard. It's 81-78.
You're really starting to see him become that initiator for the Molloy offense.
Bay walks in. Foul's going to be on the floor. And then he yelled out a big no. And then almost put his hand over his mouth to apologize. Not really meaning to disrespect the official. But he's going to shoot 2 here.
And it'll be, I think it's going to be a one-on-one opportunity here. So we'll see what Bay can do on the season. 65% free throw shooter. It was about 70% last year, so pretty consistent, but see what happens.
Hits the front end. So Bay can bring it back to a 1-point game with 4:40 left on the clock. And he goes 2 for 2. 81-80. Williams picks up speed, hands off. Marquardt thinks about a 3-pointer. He had Sukup right there. They really have not attacked him that much the last couple of minutes for a guy who has 4 personal fouls. As Williams gets blocked away, goes down hard into the wall. But it looks like he'll be all right. Sukup, the team's leading scorer from Melbourne, Australia. And he'll be fouled. This one on the floor as well. It's going to go against Brandon Williams. 8 team fouls, 3rd personal for Brandon.
And I thought that could have just as easily been a call on Sukup. He kind of had the ball in his left arm and was pushing off with his right arm there. And that's what Charlie Marquardt was asking the official for, but the official suggested that the foul occurred before that contact, so there was no way they could have called it.
Now you could even see him talking to the official, getting his explanation. 4:05 left, and a lead is back for Assumption. 1 point, 82-81.
And again, if you ask me what the biggest difference in this last 5, 6, 7 minute stretch has been, you'd probably have to say Assumption hitting their free throws.
Marquardt has not been able to hit a 3-pointer here in the second half after hitting 5 in the first. Looking to extend the lead. Bay, hard move towards the hole. Can't get it to fall. Kept in by O'Reilly. Here's Williams across the midcourt stripe. Fakes the handoff and rolls out to the near wing. Bounce pass for Bowles. Back to Williams. Pulls back for a 3-pointer. Uncontested. He'll miss. Sukup. Handoff to Bay. Between the rings, now Aiken. The chant is defense, defense. That's coming from the Lions bench. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Far corner, Sukup for a long 2-pointer. About 17 feet away. Rebounded by Bay after the miss. Blocked away by Bowles. They floated out of bounds. Molloy ball.
That's a big block underneath there by Kevin Bowles, and Bay did everything he could to try to keep that ball alive, but nobody able to grab it from him, and the ball goes out into the bleachers for Molloy ball.
Lions looking to take the lead back. Marquardt on the far wing. Matches up with Sukup. To Jalen Morris. Draws contact. Offensive foul. Morris unhappy with the call. Aiken drawing the charge.
And that's a big call right there. They got Jalen Morris the pass they wanted inside over the top of the defender. And I'd like to take a look at the replay if we can. I would love to see if those feet were definitely set. Let's have a look right here. And I'm not so sure those feet were set. Looked like he may have still been moving when the contact was made. But again, seeing it in real time, it looked a lot closer, I thought.
So tough call goes against Molloy. Well, we've said that also about Assumption, too. Some tough calls against them as well. So I guess you could really say the officiating has been even.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've done a nice job today. And, this game hasn't been overly physical, even though both teams with 9 fouls. It's been more of the, game you'd expect from two guard-happy teams. A lot of shooting, a lot of fast break scoring, and not overly physical.
Well, you see on the scoreboard there, 82-81. Assumption leads with 2:38 left. And boy, oh boy, has it been a good one today. If you're a fan of scoring and you don't like defense, then, I don't really say you don't like defense, but you like high scoring, You've been enjoying the game. Because even some of the defensive stops have been close ones. But if you like efficient shooting, that's really been the case. Marquardt leads all scorers right now with 25 points. 11 points right now for Brandon Williams. All 11 coming here in the second half. Again, 5 different players for the Greyhounds are in double figures. Reed has the most. 7 of 10 shooting, 3 of 4 from deep. Also 2 for 2 from the stripe. 19-point outing. 12 points from Sukup. 13 points from Bay. Sukup, again, playing with 4 personal fouls and has been for the majority of this half.
Yeah.
And the coaching staff told him before he went back out there, don't foul. And guess what? He hasn't fouled, but Molloy hasn't really attacked him either.
Yeah, he listened pretty good, but again, it's a bit surprising that, you haven't seen a guy like Maurice Gatson or Brandon Williams or even Charlie Marquardt really attack him, go head on, and try to force him into taking that 5th foul.
Sukup dribbles the ball with his right hand, drives down the lane, straight to the hole, fouled.
And right there you could see Brandon Williams, he was just watching Bay coming in to set that high screen and just took his eye off Sukup for long enough that Sukup drove with that left hand and was able to get to the basket, draw the foul.
This is his strength, the free throw line. Last year missed just 2, 17 of 19 for close to 90% percentage, which was the best on the team. This year he's missed 4 entering today. And he goes 2 for 2. 3-point lead for Assumption.
Go with them. Don't cheat the screen. Go with them.
Williams between the circles. Chest passed over to Marquardt. 25 points on the afternoon. Bounce pass. Bowles under the basket. Good and 1.
You could see the immediate reaction of Aiken. He cannot believe that he was whistled for a foul there, but it's a huge break for Molloy. And it gives a chance here for Kevin Bowles to go to the line, where on the season he's shooting 60%.
I'll tell you what, looking at the replay, I don't even know if he touched him. And Bowles converts in the N1 opportunity, and we're tied up at 84. So maybe a questionable call going in the favor of the hometown Lions. Sukup stops his dribble. Now over to the near wing. Here's Reed, leading the team in points. Little push off glass and in. No call. Molloy wanted it. 86-84 is the score. 1:45 left on the game clock.
And again, it's Reed. Anytime that Assumption's needed a big bucket, they've given him one.
Williams and Morris have a conversation on the hardwood. They're going to have to call a timeout. I think this is on Molloy, actually, he's calling a timeout. But miscommunication comes into a turnover, and Assumption now can make this a 2-possession game on this very next possession. They're going to use most of this clock. 1:40 left. And the Greyhounds, Tom, have really been able to at least chip away in this game. And I think that's the big difference, too. They have been able to stay in it no matter what. Even when Molloy can start to pull away, they've been able to just keep going and push and fight through.
Yeah, they kept hanging around. And, apart from an early run earlier in this half where Molloy had a 7-0 run, they haven't let Molloy score more than a couple of baskets in a row. Have hung around all day. And again, very importantly, I think, Dan, 6 for 6 on their last 6 trips to the free throw line. So when they've had a chance to go to the line for those free points, they've been able to take advantage. And that's something that Molloy hasn't really been able to do. We mentioned Gatson missing a couple of those 1-on-1 opportunities. And it's just been, I think that's a source of frustration for Molloy.
Assumption 3-2 overall. Molloy 0-4. Last time they played was 10 days ago on this very same floor, where they lost a buzzer beater to Caldwell University. And the Cougars walked away with the victory after not really being able to hit their shots, but they stayed in the game and had a big explosive second half. Very similar to what we're seeing today. And I think that might be in the back of the minds of Molloy. You can tell some frustration on their faces. .140 left. Up by 2 is Assumption. Both teams will be in the double bonus. They pressure them. Triple team. Almost forced the turnover. Suka picks it up. He's got 5 seconds to get across the line. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch off of Molloy, so still Assumption ball, 23 on the shot clock.
Nearly a turnover forced by Molloy, but now Assumption can take it easy, inbounding in the front court.
They almost forced the violation on the inbounds. They almost got the violation on the backcourt. Aiken, bounce pass, near corner. Hands off glass, too strong. Bay fights for the rebound. Off of Molloy last. So fresh 30 on the shot clock, 1:15 on the game clock. And this is just going to take off even more time for Molloy to try and at least answer with a bucket.
That was a terrific drive from Solda. Not sure how Aiken wasn't able to convert from the right block.
Solda, now Sukup. Aiken, quick crossover move. Working in, Reed misses on the layup. A fresh 30 on the shot clock.
Charlie Marquardt livid because I'm not sure that ball touched the rim, and yet Assumption got a fresh 30.
Bay, far wing, penetrates in, dribbles between his legs, dumps off. Three-pointer on the way from Reed. Good! 5-point lead for Assumption.
And again, like we've talked about all game, Reed, the clutch bucket.
Williams moves in, blocking foul, and it's going to go against Sukup. So that's going to be his 5th. He'll foul out. And they're saying 21, not 12. So that's Sukup unhappy with the call. But again, I think they should have been going after him a lot earlier than this. But he will foul out of the game. 28.8 seconds left. Williams going to shoot 2 free throws. Again, both teams still have timeouts remaining. Molloy down to just 1. Down to 2. Just 1 for Assumption.
And again, it's not even been that Sukup has been killing them with the scoring, but he's just such a consistent playmaker. He runs the offense so well. He's a guy that has defended Charlie Marquardt tough in the second half, a guy you would want out of the game a lot sooner than 28.8 ticks left on the clock. So unfortunate for Molloy that they could not take advantage of that earlier. And in any case, a chance for Brandon Williams at the line where Molloy, again, has not made the most of their chances, you might say, and Assumption certainly has, hitting their last 6.
Justin Tuckson will enter in as Brandon Williams will miss the first free throw. Such an important miss. Hits the second. 4-point deficit for Molloy. They need a steal. 28.8 seconds left. Again, both teams in the double bonus. They get to Soba. Now Bay, across the middle. Bowles knocks in to Aiken, trying to poke the ball loose. So Aiken's going to shoot a pair.
And that was awfully close as well to determine whether or not Bowles got the ball cleanly before that body contact or not. Almost like trying to judge a pass interference call in football. It was bang, bang, very, very close. And again, you wonder if just the sheer fact of the size and knocking the player down had an impact. But Bowles, in the meantime, his 5th, he's fouled out.
Aiken, it's a 5-point game. Still 20, almost close to 24 seconds left in the clock, so not out of reach. But a 2-possession contest here. And it's a 6-point lead for Assumption. Williams to Marquardt. Looking for number 6, and he gets it from deep. 3-point deficit, 17.3 seconds remaining. Molloy's down by just 3 points, and they'll also have 1 timeout remaining.
I mean, you think everyone in the building knew that pass was still going to Charlie Marquardt. Assumption knew it. We knew it. But they just could not stop it anyway. And that's a big 3. But still, again, for Molloy, more work to do, because if you don't get a steal, that means Assumption's going to have a chance to put more points on the board and make it a 2-possession game again. So that's a tough one. It's going to take more work than just that last 3.
I'll tell you what, Tom, you don't want to harp on it. There's a lot of other opportunities in this game if you're the Lions, but I think Charlie Marquardt, head coach Charles Marquardt, still has a very good point. The extra 30 seconds, a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think that hit the rim myself.
No.
From our vantage point, at least we're both in agreement, I don't think it hit the rim. But either way, you have to kind of deal with what you have to deal with, because Molloy's gotten some calls today, too, that have been questionable on their side and have gone their way. So I think at that point you have to just go with what it is. You can't get too frustrated about that one play. But trailing by 3, looking for their first win, they need a steal, and then they need a quick 3 points to try and tie the score. And Charlie Marquardt will probably be the guy to at least look for the 3 ball. One more is tying the team record in 3-point field goals made. He's got 28 points.
4 players in the front court right now for Molloy. Just Jalen Marr is hanging back, and all speedy guard-type players hoping to force this turnover or at least trap Assumption back there.
They get the ball to Tuxen. Aiken, dispossessed, comes away with it. Kicks out Reed. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Aiken. And he'll be fouled with 4.8 left.
And quite frankly, not good enough execution from Molloy. They nearly forced a turnover at midcourt, but once the ball got over, they've got a foul there. And they allowed Assumption to run probably a good 7 or 8 extra seconds off the clock. They made, 3 passes, I believe, or at least 2 passes in the front court before getting fouled.
4-point game, 4.8 seconds left. Jenkins heads off as O'Reilly, and who did start and can shoot, he'll come in. 92-88. Aiken hits both. 93-88. 2 seconds, 1. Gatson goes straight in, untouched. Buzzer sounds. We'll see if they count the basket. They won't. Actually, no, they will. 93-90, though, is going to be the final score. Molloy drops to 0-5 on the season. Assumption 4-2 now overall as they come back with a strong second half to win this game.
Frustrating night for Molloy. There's no question about that. We talked about this team, getting outscored badly in the second half. That wasn't necessarily the case. It was a close game. It wasn't that big of a lead at halftime, but I think really maybe what it comes down to is a bit of a lack of execution at key times in the second half, and that's what wound up hurting Molloy again. Hurt them in the game against Caldwell, hurt them here again today, and quite frankly, for a team that's lost a couple of very tight games, you look at it and sometimes it comes down to that key execution in the second, and for the second straight game it was lacking.
Well, we'll break it down just a little bit, some stats and analysis in just a brief moment on the Molloy Lions postgame show presented by Holiday Inn Express Rockville Center in Lynbrook. Here on the Molloy Lions Sports Network, they fall 93-90.
Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. Casey's is open 7 days a week for dinner with plenty of salads, sandwiches, and entrees to choose from. Casey's is also open for lunch Thursday through Sunday and for Sunday brunch. On the go, takeout is available, plus on-site and off-premise catering to suit all of your catering needs. And now through October, Casey's Rooftop Bar, Rooftop 32, is open for dining. Plus, you can receive a 10% discount with a Lions Land Card. All at Casey's Kitchen and Cocktails, 23 North Park Avenue in Rockville Center.
Jake's Steakhouse is a proud sponsor of Molloy Athletics. Come down to Jake's Monday through Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. and Sundays from 12 to 7 p.m. for happy hour. $4 mixed drinks, $5 select house wines by the glass, $4 select domestic beer, and $5 select craft beers. Plus, Lions Land card owners will receive a special 10% discount. Spend your next happy hour with Jake's, 2172 Hempstead Turnpike in East Meadow.
What's the lowdown on Molloy College athletics? Watch the Lions Lowdown. Hear from your favorite coaches and student athletes of the Molloy College Lions. Watch on MolloyLions.com or follow our YouTube channel, Molloy Lions.
MolloyLions.com is your official online home for Molloy College athletics. Game recaps, highlights, stats, exclusive stories and interviews, and much, much more. All on your online home for Molloy College athletics, www.MolloyLions.com.
Your Molloy Lions postgame show starts now.
The Molloy Lions postgame show presented by Holiday Inn Express, Rockville Center, and Limbrook. Lions fall by a final score of 93-90. They now drop to 0-4 on the season. After even a 28-point outing from Charlie Marquardt, he had 19 actually in that first half, but the 28 was not enough as they fell by just 3 points. And Tom, a really tough game for this team. Again, second half struggles continue as they're just unable to put away a game for the second straight now here at home.
Well, it's definitely got to be frustrating for Coach Charlie Marquardt. There's no question about that. Another very winnable game, in my opinion, and a game they led at halftime, a